Jared.
And welcome to the Fixate and Binge podcast, where we discuss our fixation with movies and television.
And those that we consider absolutely binge-worthy right now. All right, welcome everybody to Fixate and Binge podcast. We have an interesting lineup today. We are going to talk about the upcoming summer films that we've seen, that we plan to see, and that maybe a couple of those that we do not plan to watch at all. Joe, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself, Jared?
Fantabulous. Rocking a mask right now. Been dealing with COVID all week long, and you're risking your life to be here. But luckily, we are social distancing, so we'll probably be okay.
Awesome. Yeah, I for some reason I am immune to COVID. I would love to just catch COVID at this point, just to get it over with.
You have superior genes, is what I'm thinking.
You know that scene in The Matrix where Neo is like dodging the bullets in
Yeah,
bullet
that's
time?
you.
That's me dodging COVID for the last 2 years. Honestly, come and get me, COVID.
I've had it twice, so I'm one of those extras that just get shot right away.
That's right.
It's depressing,
Yeah.
but whatever.
You're an easy target.
I think so.
If this was tag, you'd be the first one out,
Yeah,
Jared.
I'd be on the sidelines all the time.
That's right.
So we made a little list here, didn't we?
We did, yes.
And some of the movies here, so basically what I did today is I went and looked at the website of our local theaters, and I found a list of all the stuff that's playing. Now, like I said, there's some stuff that I do want to see. There's some stuff that I won't see. And there's one that I've actually already seen. So let's just jump into it. First on the list is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. First of all, I got to say, the title seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anytime you put madness, I don't know, it just sounds like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Sounds like an everything type of a recipe, you know, Susie's cake of madness. You know, you pick everything that's left over in the fridge and you throw it into a crock pot or whatever.
Yeah, I not to sound completely nerdy here, I think it's a play on Mountain of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft, one of those great sci-fi writers. But yeah, multiverse, they managed to work that in. It's kind of a mouthful.
It is definitely a mouthful. So you've seen this, right?
I have, and I saw it for a couple reasons. One, like maybe many of you, once it's like watching the first two Saw movies. If you were dumb enough to watch
I would never watch those.
Okay, let me use something else. Maybe watching the first couple Police Academy movies. They made 9 of them, right? And you watch the first couple, and you're like, "Great, that's it. I'm in for the whole damn 9 franchise. I'm in for the whole thing, right?" So you watch the first Marvel movies that have come out, you know, phase 3, phase 4. I don't know what phase we're in now. So I was going to watch it anyway, but because I have Disney Plus and the cost of going to the movies is so exorbitant, I'm like, well, maybe I'll wait till that streams. But when they announced Sam Raimi as the director, I'm like, okay, I'm all in.
Got to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what'd you think?
It was definitely a Sam Raimi Marvel movie.
What else has Sam Raimi directed?
Okay, so Sam Raimi is renowned. He's a legend because at 20 years old, he made his first movie called The Evil Dead.
Huh.
And it's a classic.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen trailers for it.
Evil Dead is it's a masterpiece. A masterpiece in the sense that, given to what Sam Raimi was willing to do to just make the film happen. He was the set designer. I mean, there's so much more movie trivia about this. Someone listening to this probably knows a whole library of stuff about it. But
you're assuming that we have people listening to this.
That's right. You're out there, right? Knock if you can hear us, right? And so I've loved that film. I remember watching it on VHS tape in the 1980s at my friend's house, because something like that, if anything like that had been in the house, the parents would have called for an exorcism to be performed in the house. It's hilarious. And it's got Bruce Campbell, who is Sam Raimi's personal friend, and he plays the title character in The Evil Dead. And so every time Sam Raimi makes a movie, he finds a role for his pal, Bruce Campbell.
Okay.
And there is a very funny cameo of Bruce Campbell in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Just put it this way: stay to the credits. Stay to the end of the credits.
I always do, because they always sneak stuff in there.
Yeah. It is going to be, I think, it could be a little confusing if you haven't been watching Disney Plus's Marvel TV shows that tie into this.
Oh, they're tying shows into the movie now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to be lost.
You might be, because so the first Marvel TV superhero TV show that they launched on Disney Plus is WandaVision, and it has to do with the character Wanda Maximoff, who of course is the Scarlet Witch, and her husband, who is a sentient robotic being known as Vision, played by Paul Bettany. And I won't give it away, but the TV show, it's weird. It's definitely different, but it's worth watching. And then that kind of introduces the concept of, it kind of tells her backstory. And then Loki, which is the other TV character, of course, played by Tom Hiddleston, he introduces the concept of multiverses. So alternate realities.
Right.
And if you watch those two Disney Plus TV shows, and you can watch the full season, they're available.
Okay.
WandaVision and Loki, you will be all caught up with the concept of multiverse, which is helpful but not essential to enjoy the movie.
All right. If it's not essential, I'll probably skip it. To be totally honest.
I mean, this is almost feels like a deep dive. I would say it just added an extra layer, but you can still enjoy the film on its own merits.
All right, that's good. Visually, just based on the trailer, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And the first one I love the first one. It was incredible. The story was solid.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great storyline, very exciting visually. It moved along at a good pace. So how does this one compare in that regard?
It does just fine. Benedict Cumberbatch, of course, is Stephen Strange. And I don't want to give anything away. I don't believe in spoilers for things like this, but he does fine. I mean, the acting is it's great. It's absolutely fine. I will say that there's some interesting introductions of some characters. Do we have a very Randy housefly?
Yes, we do.
Oh, that's all right. He's tuning in. There's a multiverse that they go to in this film, and you're going to see some different superheroes and maybe some familiar faces if you're caught up on these Marvel characters.
Why should anyone go see this?
I think spectacle alone is good.
All right.
And if you've been watching all the other Marvel films,
if you're a fan of it anyway,
yeah,
of course, go see it.
Yeah, just add it.
Yeah.
So depending on your pocketbook, I mean, inevitably it's going to end up on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But I think it needs to be seen on the big screen because of the spectacle.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. All right. I'm definitely going to go see it.
Awesome.
Now, one I've seen, I saw the trailer for is Morbius, once again in the Marvel universe here. They are producing a lot of material. I've seen a lot of memes about Morbius. Not super flattering, I will say. And I have no preconceived notion of this until I literally looked at the trailer today. So I've never heard of Morbius before. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
I don't even know if it's out yet. I think it must be, since there's so many memes.
I know a couple things about it. I haven't seen it. I mean, half the time I just ignore what critics are saying and I go and see it. But I'm hearing that it is a dumpster fire. It's just a huge waste of an interesting character. I read somewhere that the head writers, screenwriters, whatever, that came up with the story, whatever, that they've had some box office bombs, and everyone's kind of scratching their head and going, so how did they get handed this if they've been bombing everywhere else?
Yeah, it's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at just watching the trailer, it looks like it's the Bat version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But they can't call him Batman because that's already taken.
Right.
But that would be the natural thing to call him Batman.
And just so everyone knows, and I'm assuming, I don't read comic books or graphic novels.
I haven't for many, many decades.
Yeah, so if somebody out there, if you're a Spider-Man fan, because I think Morbius is in the Spider-Man.
I believe so.
He's one of the Spider-Man villains. You probably have a lot more to say on this than we do. I'm just judging it by its look and what critics are saying. I don't think it's...
Yeah.
I'll wait. I'll stream it for free.
Yeah, I think I'll stream it too. I think I'd stream that.
Yeah.
All right. How about Top Gun Maverick?
I haven't seen it. I'm hearing incredible things about it. I'm actually gonna see it tomorrow night on a date with the wife.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Did you see? Obviously, you saw the first one.
I did.
Way back in 1986 or something.
I think everybody saw it.
Pretty much.
Weren't they showing it in kindergarten? I mean, you had to. It was almost like a requirement, right?
Required watching.
That's right. I was impressed with it then. No, I did not want to join the Air Force.
No,
but I know a lot of people.
He was
did.
in the Navy. Okay.
Oh, he was in the Navy. Wow.
Jeez.
I apologize.
Learn your armed forces.
Sorry, armed forces crowd. You can leave me hate mail later. Holy cow. Yeah. So it's you look at it and you're just amazed by what Tom Cruise is still doing for movies.
The guy has an incredible track record. I mean, he has been a part of some really excellent franchises and just some amazing films over the years. So,
yeah.
And for nostalgia's sake alone, I will definitely go see it. And because the one recommendation I got is from my mother, and she said she absolutely loved it. So,
oh wow,
I have to go. See it then. So, that's enough for me.
I mean, I even saw in the trailers that there is an obligatory shirts off volleyball scene.
Rad.
So I'm so glad they brought that back as an homage.
Heck yeah.
I'm definitely there for that.
For sure.
Yeah, I hear that the action sequences are top notch and seamless. Like it feels like you're in the cockpit.
Cool.
And it's nuts, like a flight simulator.
That'll be fun to see. Just for the action alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. The first Top Gun, the story was interesting but cheesy.
Yeah.
The details were a little cheesy, but whatever. It was fighter jets. It was fun.
I remember on a scout camp out, these dorks. Okay, I'm a scout, so I'm a dork too. I'm right with them. But I remember these dorks in our scout camp out. We met some girls in New Mexico, and they started to sing "You've Lost That Love and Feeling" from the Top Gun movie, and it was cringe. It was so cringe. I mean, it's as bad as someone like pulling out an acoustic guitar and singing Extreme's "More Than Words."
Come on, that's a great song. Actually, one time I was in the Air Force.
Okay,
and I was working in the office. We accounted for jet fuel.
Okay,
a million gallons. We accounted for it. Anyway, that song, "More Than Words," came on the radio.
Yeah,
and my coworker, literally without a word, he got up from his desk, marched over, and just pounded that radio off. I asked him, said, "Hey, did you have a bad breakup once?" He didn't say a word. So,
oh man,
how do we get on this tangent?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
There's these songs, I mean, and some of these songs, my goodness, even like Celine Dion's song, "My Heart Will Go On" from the Titanic. Yeah, I felt besieged by that song. I could go nowhere
for months.
Yeah,
and even still, it still bugs me.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a definite watch.
Awesome. Yeah.
Now, you said you wanted to talk about the movie Men.
Oh, my gosh.
Tell me about that. I have heard zero about that.
Okay, so I wanted to see Men for a couple reasons, and I think this might be kind of cool. I'm gonna do some name dropping.
Okay.
When I was living in England, so I'll set this up really quick. When I was living in England and I was studying in grad school, I was living in Stratford-upon-Avon, which, of course, is where William Shakespeare's hometown is. But also built in that town is the Royal Shakespeare Company.
Cool.
And so all these great theater legends from the English stage, like Judi Dench, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, Ray Fiennes, all these, Daniel Day-Lewis, they all acted at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and in some cases began their acting careers on stage there. So even in the 5 years that I was there, I did rub shoulders with people who would go on to become famous. And one of them was Rory Kinnear. And Rory Kinnear is in all the James Bond movies. He's M's assistant in the Daniel Craig James Bond movies. But Rory Kinnear came and played soccer, or what they would call football, behind our college. He would hang out, and he was hilarious. I've seen him on stage a few times. So funny. But he plays the main character, the main guy in this movie by Alex Garland. And I wanted to see it because Alex Garland's made some pretty weird but interesting movies. He's made Annihilation with Natalie Portman, and that is a wild sci-fi film. I'd love to know what you make of that if you've seen it.
I haven't.
You haven't seen it?
Mm-mm.
And then he made another film I consider it a masterpiece. It's Ex Machina.
I've seen. I don't know if I've actually seen that, but I've heard of it.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's got Oscar Isaac and Domhnall Gleeson. It's fantastic. I don't want to go off on Ex Machina, but it's interesting.
Okay.
So
what's Men basically about?
Yeah. So I mean, I knew Alex Garland is going to make an interesting movie, and I also hey Rory Kinnear's in this. Awesome. So let's go see it. And I took my wife, and we left the film, and we were both looking at each other, and we both had the same expression on our face, which was WTF. What was that? I mean, I knew it was going to be creepy, but it was. I mean, it's days later, and I still think about scenes in that film, and I'm like, that's so weird.
Cool.
Without giving anything away, Rory Kinnear, you know this by the trailer, he plays almost all of the male characters depicted in the movie.
Wow.
And you don't know what's going on here. Is he a shapeshifter? What is going on? He plays the village priest. He plays the pub landlord in the pub. He plays the groundskeeper. He plays the chavs, which is that's a English thing for the local kids that are up to no good. And all I can tell you is, and I hope I don't give too much away, but I think the film is about toxic male masculinity.
Okay.
I think it's a very feminist film.
Okay. That sounds good. Okay. A must watch then.
Yeah.
All right. So one movie that I have seen, saw it a couple weeks ago, is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, man.
I don't know who acts in it. I don't know who directed it, but that movie blew me away. My brother recommended it highly, very highly. And I think you and him could talk for hours about films and shows because you guys have very similar tastes and know a lot of the details of who, what, and when, and where, why, and all that. But anyway, this movie, it is a multiverse drama, but it has comedic elements to it. It's basically about a woman who is living an unfulfilling life with a boring man as her husband in our dimension. But it's revealed, she is actually the key to survival of the whole multiverse against a mysterious force that threatens to turn life everywhere into nothing. And she has to jump around into dimensions from one dimension to another, trying to figure out how to save the day.
Wow.
And it's incredibly personal. It's incredibly fitting and applicable to mankind in general. It's hilarious in some cases. It's really cool in some cases, like lots of action, and it's really heartwarming and touching in a lot of places as well. So, I mean, I didn't know what to expect when I first went in there, and like third of the way in there, I'm wiping away a tear. Like, what the heck is this? My brother didn't warn me about that.
Yeah.
So definitely a must see. I would go see it in the theater because there is a lot of action. A lot of it is in Mandarin Chinese,
okay,
which was fun for me because I still can speak that and understand it.
I keep forgetting that you're fluent in Mandarin Chinese.
I wouldn't say fluent, but I can get by.
Okay,
but that was fun. And then there's a whole bunch of kung fu, which is also awesome. So that was really fun to watch. So anyway, I would definitely recommend watching that before it goes away.
I am so envious. I'm so envious. I've been hearing glowing things about it, and I haven't been able to see it on the big screen. I'm gonna try. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it's playing at a couple theaters in our area.
Okay,
Still,
I'm gonna have to hunt it down.
It's not too late.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are 2 more movies on the list that I don't think we need to talk about. These are passes for me. Jurassic Park World Domination.
Okay.
I'm just not going to see it. I won't even see it streaming. I've never been a real Jurassic Park fan, even from the beginning. You?
Yeah. I mean, the first 2 Jurassic Park films are fantastic. They're great. They're immersive. I mean, of course, what Spielberg did with the first Jurassic Park film is, in its time when it was made, is a phenomenal achievement.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, the other ones have been kind of like snoozers, and even these 3 new ones, I don't know. And I might pass on this as well at the cinema. Yeah. My kids aren't asking to go see it. And if they asked to go see it, okay, all right, I'll go see it. But they're not even interested.
That's a free pass to not see it then.
Yeah, it'll stream. Again, wait it out and it'll stream eventually.
In a couple months, really.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last one that I saw, I mean, there's Bob's Burger and there's some other movies that I've just never even considered, that I didn't even recognize. But the last one that I did recognize is Downton Abbey, A New Era.
Okay.
I watched the trailer, and I'm a fan of the show. The show was excellent. It was really good. And even the first film was good. I definitely am going to wait until this one comes on streaming. I'm not going to go see it in the theater. Just not going to do it. But I'm sure it's a good story. Just I don't know if it's worth $20.
Yeah, it's off my radar, and I'm an Anglophile. I mean, everything English. I lived there for 6 years. I usually gobble this stuff up. My oldest daughter's 13, and she's getting into The Crown on Netflix, and I've watched a couple episodes, and it's pretty dang good. But Downton Abbey, I'm like, eventually I'll get to it, and I'm just not going to go and watch a movie without watching the TV series that introduces the characters.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense.
No. There is one more film I want to mention that I'm looking forward to, and that is the next Thor film.
Okay.
By Taika Waititi. That's his Maori name.
Okay.
Kia ora. With Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman's coming back to play his love interest. And if you've watched the trailer, it looks exciting and it looks fun. It looks like it doesn't take itself too seriously.
That's
nice. Had a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's nice.
So that's coming out, I think, a couple weeks from now.
Yeah,
so
pretty quick. Okay, that's good. So we've covered a lot of ground. There's plenty to see.
Yeah.
Some that are worth going out for right now, and some that are worth just waiting. And then others that are worth just skipping altogether.
That's right.
And of course, everyone to each their own. You know, there's something for everyone.
I think so.
So that's all right. All right. So, okay. So to recap, what is one movie that we've talked about that you definitely recommend going to see in the theater?
I'm going to go as far to say that I expect for Top Gun to be everything everyone says it is.
Okay.
And I think that's worth your dollars.
Okay. You know, like I mentioned, I've already seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. Can't recommend that highly enough. But I am pretty stoked to see Doctor Strange.
Cool.
I'm not a Marvel nut or anything, but the visual spectacle that they put on is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited to see that. So, listener, what are you excited to see now and for the rest of the summer? What are you looking forward to?